lesson. We're going today to try and find the sum of an arithmetic sequence, and we're going to look at how to find terms and the number of terms in a sequence. And we're going to use these three questions to help us through. So, how many terms are there in this arithmetic sequence? In order to answer this question, it's always good to have a label and define what we mean by an arithmetic sequence. Remember what we have. An arithmetic sequence is one that has a common difference and a starting value a. And it's always got the same common difference. So the first term is a, and the second is a plus that difference. The third term is a plus 2 lots of that difference. The fourth is a plus 3 lots of that difference. And the fifth is a plus 4 lots of that difference. And hopefully you'll be seeing that there's a pattern here, that it is a plus n minus 1 times the difference. So that helps us define and find a value in our sequence, as long as we know a, n, and d. Now, the question here, though, is slightly different. The question says, how many terms are there? Well, I already know the last term is 162. I also know that a is 14, and the common difference, second takeaway first, is 4. So by putting all of that into my a plus bracket n minus 1d equals 162, I get everything except the unknown value of n filled in. So by rearranging all of that, you can find that the value of n is 38. What about the second question? Find the 25th term in this sequence. So what you can see here, let's use that general formula, a plus bracket n minus 1d. I know the value of a, I know the difference is -3, and I know that n is 25. So if I know all of that, I can put all these three into my general formula, and I come out with -65. The 25th term in this arithmetic series or sequence is -65. Find the sum of the arithmetic series 10, 7, 3 all the way down to -20. Now, in order to do this, I need to remember a formula for finding the sum of an arithmetic sequence of a series. Now, I'm going to take you to the side a bit. Let's look at this question. Once we can do this question, you should be able to answer the question we've just been posed. So here, find the sum of 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 all the way up to 15. In order to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to say, right, now notice what you have here. Okay, the first plus the last, the second plus the second to last, all the way to the last plus the first. And you should notice something, that they all add up to 18. So I have 2 lots of Sn equals 7 lots of 18. And that 7 is the number of terms in my sequence. And that's important. So from all of this, we can get some general formula for finding the sum of an arithmetic sequence. If I look at that 18, I can see that it is the first and the last, and we'll come to this later on as well. That's a really powerful tool. But also I can say the last term, instead of writing it as 15, remember I can write it as a plus n minus 1d. And that's useful. So now putting it into algebraic form, I can see that it actually is n, and then it's the first term a plus the nth term. And by rearranging and tidying it all up, I get with my general formula there, n over 2 bracket 2a plus bracket n minus 1 close bracket d close bracket d. Again, a very useful tool to use. So now let's apply that to the question. Find the sum of this arithmetic series, 10, 7, 3, all the way down to -20. So we've got a problem. First of all, I don't know how many terms there are, and I need to, in this equation, find the value of n. I can see that a is 10, I can see that the difference is -3, but I don't know how many terms I'm dealing with. So that's where this general formula is really important and useful. So filling in what I know that the last term is negative 20, and that A is 10, and that, so just closing all that off, I know that A is 10 and that D is negative 3. So by filling all those in, I should come out with the value of N. N is 11. Now that I know N is 11, I can substitute that into my formula here and put all the other values I know. I know A and I know the difference. So putting that all the way through, I come out with the sum of the first 11 terms is negative 55. Now, we did say earlier on that there might be a quicker way to do this, and it is quicker if you do know the last term. You see, here the formula was the first plus the last term. Previously, in the other examples, we had to go through all this difficulty. Whereas if we already know the last term, then all I need to do is say it's the first term plus the last term times n over 2. I already know the last term, so that makes life a lot easier and quicker to solve. So we've got two ways to find the sum of an arithmetic sequence. One way is if we don't know the last term, but we do know the difference, then we'd use this formula. This one, if we know the first and the last term, then this is a really quick way to do it. I hope this has helped. See you again.